Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, as a tyrant or as a democratically elected official, what do you want? Well, first you want to stay in power. That's your main goal. Stay in power. That means you will control things. How can you do that? Well, you have different ways of doing that. One being, having an oppressive apparatus that will just keep your nation down, and you're going to be ruling by expressed and active force, or you can rule by the will of the people, which the people will vote for you, will support you. Why do people support you? Well, the first thing, if they have what they need, and then what they want. So what do they need? They need food, they need shelter, they need some sex here and there, they need these kind of things, like the basic needs. And then after those basic needs are covered, they start wanting. And they start wanting a car, a TV set, some tennis shoes, and whatever they want. And then they want a certain kind of car, a certain kind of dwelling, house, a certain number of rooms, a certain kind of shoes, not any kind of shoes. So the wants increase and get more sophisticated and more expensive. Now that's based on a productive society. If the society is not productive, all that drops from a certain kind of car to a car, and is less productive, the country, from a car to no car, only to survival needs, basic needs. And if the economy and the country goes even lower, you don't even that being covered. So you don't want to get there. If you get there, you most likely will have a lot of problems in the street. So you want security for you. You want to be able to keep those guys down, and you would run or rule better easier if the society has things, goods, is satisfied, is fat, has things to buy, to eat. That's basically eat, dress, watch, and drink. So this is, I think, one of the basic, principles why, and if you want to figure out, as a general rule, what for instance, China wants, it wants stability. Political stability, economic stability, social stability, military stability. So how does China achieve that? Having a prosperous society, that would keep the dissent maybe a little bit lower than being angry. I don't have food, I don't have hot water to take a shower or something, from the basic needs. So China wants an economic stability. That means trade. It wants trade, it wants production, it wants all these things to be covered. They don't care if they trade with Russia, United States, France, or whomever. They want this to be covered. Why? Because that would translate into prosperity in China. That means the population, the rabble, the masses, the plebeians will be, ooh, I ate good today, yeah. That's it. That's one. The other one, you want militarily to be secure as the leader and the country. How do you do that? Having a good military and forming alliances. Why? Because there are other countries, other interests, they want your shit, as you will later want their shit. Okay, don't think that, no, we don't want anybody, we have enough, we're just here. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work for humans. Who says that is because that person knows his limitations. Once you have limitations, let's say you have, your income today is, let's say, $20,000 a year. Let's say in the United States of America, that's nothing. You're like, oh my God, you're not going to dream, when I'm going to buy a Bentley, man, oh my God, or Lamborghini. You're not even thinking about that. You think about what kind of bread and what kind of milk and what kind of store are you going to go and buy those things from. Because that's your level at 20,000. Now, once that get to 80,000, you may most likely will not look exactly where you buy your milk anymore, what kind of bread, what kind of brand. You buy whatever you like at that department, the needs. And then you start thinking, maybe I don't like this Ford Focus here anymore. Maybe I can go to something better. Why? Because you have an income. So you want more and more and more. Look in your life. So when you say, well, I'm satisfied with what I got, could be, because you think, Well, my life is intellectual, my life is different. All I need is just a car to get me from point A to point B. That's correct. I need a house where it doesn't rain on me, the wind doesn't blow, I'm not cold when it's winter, I'm not hot when it's summer. And nobody comes here whenever they want and picks in, oh, he's having some loving, things like this. So you release your needs, your wants, according to your income, your abilities. You're not going to be, well, I can have, let's say, as the sultans were. They have harems. Oh, you know what, I can have how many women I want, but you know what, I'm going to have just this one right here. No, because they can. That's why when you speak with someone has money and says, well, I bought this, I bought this, I bought this. I hate when people say, why did you buy that? Wasn't that enough for you? I bought it because I can and I want. And you, that's the answer. I heard it from from these people. I said, yeah, that's correct, because you can, you work for it, and you do whatever you want with your money. And that's good. There you go. So we have here China, who cancels the visit of top EU's diplomat, Mr. Borrell, Josep Borrell. Why? Because they want to trade with countries, but some, on the other hand, they don't want to trade under a, like somehow you're subordinate. Yellen, the Secretary of Treasury, U.S. Secretary of Treasury, will visit China for the same reason, to say, come on, let's do trade. Chinese says, yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to do it with anyone that wants to treat us fairly, and we have an interest and we have an advantage out of that. Militarily, no, because China's military or security is not with United States. For them, United States is an enemy. They don't say it, but it is an enemy. That's a threat, not Russia. As of now, it's United States. So what do? Alliances, and we're not going to cooperate militarily, United States, but we were going to cooperate economically. And politically, we just keep it like, hey, how are you? Good, bye. And we trade. That's all it needs, China from United States. Also, it needs some political cooperation, so the Americans stop, bringing weapons and whatever in Taiwan and creating certain kind of defensive mechanisms in China's neighborhood. So yes, they're concerned with that one too, but they will solve that by being armed and being in alliances, because the other guys are not eager or willing to say, oh, you know what, let's be friends here, like we trade as equals. No. We dominate militarily, not as equal. We dominate. You just over there somewhere. And China says, okay, we're going to counter that by our friendship with Russia and others. So let's see what this little article has to say. And I'm glad that these guys punched these guys in the nuts, because the European Union tries to impose certain, how should I put it, tries to impose certain terms into the economic relationship between European Union and China, which Chinese see it as, disadvantages. They don't like it. So, 4th of July 2023, China cancels visit by EU's top diplomat. Beijing has not offered any explanation for the move. China has canceled the planned visit by the EU's foreign policy Josep Borrell, which I don't think is very smart, based on his statements. A spokesperson for the bloc announced on Tuesday the diplomat's trip was reportedly scheduled for next week. Unquote, and I'm quoting, unfortunately, we were informed by our Chinese counterparts that the envisioned dates next week are no longer possible, and we must now look for alternatives. Well, you don't know if, they had a conflict of schedule somewhere, but I don't think that's the case. Beijing had not confirmed the visit and has provided no comment on its apparent cancellation. So they had not confirmed the visit, Beijing, but the European Union confirmed it. So, and the Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Mao Ning stating at a regular press briefing on Tuesday, which was yesterday, that she did not have any information to share on Borrell's potential trip. So the visit was announced by the EU's envoy to China on the sidelines of on Sunday. Borrell was to travel to China next Monday, seeking to address all outstanding issues with Beijing, including partnership, competition, and systemic rivalry. Yeah, of course, this is what I think the Chinese know what they're gonna do, and they're gonna speak with this person right here. You see this person, Yellen? Oh my God! So she comes over there before Borrell. So China says, "Why should I speak with you guys when actually these guys are in charge? Don't waste my time with two of you. I'm gonna waste it only with this one, who doesn't even know on what planet she is." And I'm quoting, "This will be the place to raise all these issues, especially the strategic issues," talk to United States, "that we have with China." No, the United States needs to talk to China, not the European Union. So Borrell was scheduled to meet Chinese Foreign Minister Qin Gang, who's gonna knock him out intellectually. I guarantee you that. Borrell has previously given mixed signals on ties with China, calling it a rival, but also a partner. He also pointed to two major strategic security issues with China, namely its growing alliance with Russia and neutral stance on the Ukrainian conflict, and the issue of Taiwan, regarded by Beijing as an internal part of its territory. So I think the Chinese are doing great by speaking with a source, with a supervisor instead of the the person associate on the floor, which is European Union. And Borrell, maybe, speak with the person who can make a decision. When you have a grievance somewhere at the store, the first question you ask, okay, can you make a decision? That means, can you change what I want to be changed or remediate it? And if the person says no, then I want to speak with the person who can do that. Why would you spend your, let's say, 20 minutes explaining this guy to this guy, whatever, and then, oh, let me call my supervisor. Give me the supervisor right now. The supervisor comes, and if the supervisor plays dumb, I want to speak with someone. But it happens like it happened to me. I spoke with the supervisor, and the supervisor was really bad. And I was like, so you're in charge here. Okay, I just left. You couldn't even understand a situation, and obviously you would not change anything because you don't understand it. So why should I waste my time? So I left. The same here. Why should I speak with the Europeans? Spoke with the Americans, and they will tell the Europeans what to do and what to say. That's my assessment on this one. So I'm glad that China plays and is strong, and unfortunately, obviously, I want the United States to do all the great things here, not using any method, not by doing all kind of things that it does. But on the other hand, I'm willy-nilly, but that's a competition. I hope these guys win. Why? Because I'm in this team. But on the other hand, the other ones deal with the European weasels who are losing. Why? They have a war on their continent that was not really their doing. First one. Second one, they placed 11 rounds of sanctions on Russia, which hurts them more than it hurts those guys, Zimbabwe from across Atlantic, or the Russians. So they themselves at each and every turn, and they keep going. Why? Because they're not independent. They're not sovereign. Their foreign policy is dictated somewhere else. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.